Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Tim. I'm here with Lance. We are doing Crawl Space live today on a Monday, May 11th, 2020. What's up, Lance?
Oh, what's going on? Things are great. How are you?
Oh, it's great. It's really awesome to have an all-star on the line with us. Gray Hughes is joining us from Gray Hughes Investigates. What's going on,
Oh,
Gray?
Not much. I'm glad you have me on one of the craziest stories in the history of mankind.
yeah, seriously. When I found out that this is what we were going to be talking about, I kind of did a simultaneous yes, fist pump, and then I sighed, and I was like, ugh, because it is a bonkers story. Also, thank you for joining us and taking time out of your side gig as a bartender.
Oh yeah. Lori, if you've ever watched my show, I usually have Lori moonwalking and dancing in the background in this scene, but she took the night off.
Oh,
And you cover the case of Lori Vallow pretty extensively on your channel, Gray Hughes Investigates.
Yeah, I've actually been covering it since late December, like around December 23rd ish, and at that time I was in communication with Kay and Charles Woodcock. They are the grandparents of one of the two missing children, JJ. And I used to be in regular communication with them, but then, like I was telling Tim earlier, Dateline took over and actually called me from Charles's phone and said, "Hey, no more communication," because they wanted the exclusive story. But it was great at the time to be in communication with them.
oh man, you were about to scoop them.
Yeah. I mean, I did get some really good information back then, and that's what allowed me to put together my famous chart that I do mention my chart all the time, and people say, "God, we should have a drinking game when you mention your chart." So.
All right. Well, take us through some of the basics of this case, if you don't mind, because I know, for one, it's been in the news a lot, and it's kind of hard to follow because there's been a lot of sort of plot twists.
Yeah, well, here's where I'm going to switch right over to my handy dandy chart. Okay, and even just looking at that, your head spins a little bit, but it allows you to follow pretty easily. Okay, and I don't have Lori right in the center. I just have her right here. So there's three siblings: Lori, Alex, and a woman named Stacy Lynn Cope. She died in 1998 of something related to diabetes, and her daughter is Melanie right here. Okay, she's the niece of Lori and Alex. Stacy, one of the interesting things that I found out in some of these interviews is that Alex right here was the only one at home with Stacy when she died, and then he ended up using her credit cards later. He's a real nice guy. So, I mean, even after she died, he took her credit cards and used them. So basically what I like to do is start around the time where Charles is killed. Okay. And back in July of 2019, Charles is killed at Lori's house in Arizona. And she's killed by her brother, Alex. And Alex claims that it was self-defense. So Lori says the same thing, that Charles attacked him with a baseball bat, and he went back to her room, got a gun, and then shot Charles and killed him. Okay. Now, at the house that day was Tylee Ryan, JJ, Charles, Alex, and Lori. So Lori, Alex, Charles, JJ, and Tylee were all at Lori's house that day. And Tylee right here is the daughter of Joseph Ryan and Lori, and Joseph is the third husband of Lori. Charles was the fourth. Okay, so Joseph Ryan right here was the third husband. They got divorced around 2000, early 2000s, 2004-ish, something like that. And one of the interesting things is in 2007, Alex Cox here attacked Joseph Ryan at a custody hearing for Tylee and tried to kill him with a stun gun, and he was really actually trying to kill him, and he only served 3 months in jail. I think he was able to spin out of it somehow, but he while he was in jail, he even tried to get hitman to take out Joseph. It's a crazy story, okay? But I just wanted to throw that part in there because I mean, so
just keep sprinkling in those little details.
Yeah. So Tylee right here is the biological son of Joseph Ryan and Lori, but in 2018 April he died of a heart ailment. That's what was claimed, but now people are looking at him again as possibly dying as a result of some nefarious acts. I guess there was around maybe $70,000 in life insurance that went to Tylee, but maybe because of her age, Lori somehow benefited from that. It's hard to say. But let's get back to the day that Charles was killed. He was killed on July 11, 2019 at the home of Lori. Alex right here claimed it was self-defense, shot Charles twice in the chest. Lori was at the home. All 5 of them were there, and she drove JJ to school just as the shooting was about to happen. JJ was already in the car. Tylee was heading out to the car, heard the shots. That's what she told relatives later. And so they didn't actually see the shooting themselves. And Lori then drove JJ to school, then drove back to the house with Tylee, and you actually can see them on body camera. And you got to see this. If you guys are interested, I can show you some of the clips.
Sure, yeah, we'll take a look.
From this far.
Yeah, I'll just skip through some of it. But here's how it starts. Well, do you guys want to hear the 911 call?
Well, yeah, I guess explain a little bit. Sorry, it's there's just so many characters. I guess just tell us what we're about to see or hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're about to see here is the Alex Cox. You can actually see part of his head right there. He's blurred out. I actually have a picture of him from a show. Let me put that on the screen really fast. Yeah, see him sitting right there on the curb. He makes a 911 call, and he's on the phone. They're telling him to do CPR, and it's strange because his voice never changes, and it doesn't really sound like he's doing any CPR. He waited, after the shooting, he waited 5 minutes to call 911, he said. He put the phone in another room, and he was doing something, and he waited 4 or 5 minutes to call 911. Then they showed up, and then he puts his hands up in the air as he comes out the door, and then the body cameras pick that up. Is that what you want to?
Yeah, that's clear.
So let's see. Let me get right to that spot. Basically, right.
Come out, walk outside with your hands empty. Sure. Are you able to do that with your hands up and empty?
Yeah. So what I do here was I overlapped the 911 call and synced it up perfectly with the body camera, and then it switches over to the body camera audio.
Yeah. Your front door, right?
Yeah. Come out this way, man. You know, no weapons?
No weapons on me.
All right, come on out this way.
Yep.
I'm gonna have you have a seat right here on the curb.
Yep. Who else is in the house? No one else is in the house. Okay, just have a seat right there. Yeah. Let's get FD in here.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Yeah. 18th Street secure. We got the gentleman out.
You have some ID on you, sir?
Yeah.
What happened today? How did it get to this?
I don't know. He was enraged.
What's going on? What happened?
He was talking with my sister earlier.
No, what happened today, though? Like just in the last 20 minutes.
He came at me with a bat.
Okay. Was he living here or
No.
visiting?
He came to pick up his son.
Okay, is his son inside?
No. My sister took him to school.
Okay, so it was just you at the house?
Yes.
And he came, how long, what time did he come to pick up the son?
I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe.
Okay, so you know who he is, let him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they were talking earlier, then she left, and then He got into it with me.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know. He was accusing me of.
Come on over here. That truck's going to be really loud.
So you can see the gun right there on the ground.
Oh yeah.
It's small.
Yeah.
But what's going on here? You know, he's sitting on the curb, and then the other officer is just walking around in the house. Is this working for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
on your end?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. So this is the guy who just killed Lori's Alex, Lori's husband.
And both of these videos are happening.
Yes, they're synced up.
Okay.
And you'll actually see the other guy come back out and say a few words again.
Oh, okay.
But Charles had filed for divorce in February earlier in the year, and he was telling relatives that Lori was even saying that she had to kill him and everything. I mean, it was really wild. Lori is a psycho. That's just all there is to it. But then he didn't file the divorce in April, so she kind of got back together a little bit. But then it seems like they still were separated, and he had custody of JJ, so she was taking care of him because I think he was on a trip, and she was taking care of him, and he was going there to pick him up. And then it's weird how Lori takes the kid that he's picking up, JJ, to school. She claims she did it because she didn't want him around to hear all the fighting, but really just there was an execution about to happen is what was going on. So let's get back to this.
What was he accusing you of?
And let me there is something here I do want to point out. This scene here to me is the most crucial scene in the entire body camera footage. When he's sitting there, the officer asks him, what's going on? He said, well, he was accusing me. And then Alex realized that wasn't the line that he was supposed to be saying, because the answer to that question would implicate him.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
So when he stands up, the officer says, accusing you of what? And then you can see him. He doesn't answer the question for like 6 or 7 seconds as they walk. And then he goes, I don't know. He was just mad. And the officer let him off the hook. He should have said, no, you said he was accusing you. You know, there's a huge difference here. Just listen to how this plays out there.
That truck's going to be really loud. What was he accusing you of?
He was just yelling at me.
Okay.
You see that? Look at how crap that is.
Yeah.
He just got out of that. You know, the answer to what he was accusing you of, he probably said something like, you guys are trying to kill me, aren't you? And then he realized, wait, I can't say this one. I don't know. He was just yelling at me. And he never got re-asked that question.
Yelling at you about?
I thought my sister because I'd broken up the tussle with them earlier. And he told me not to interfere anymore with them or I'd pay. And he came at me with a bat.
Okay, so he showed up in the house with a bat in his hand?
No.
Okay, so...
There was a scuffle earlier with my sister and my niece. My niece got involved.
About earlier meaning earlier this week, earlier this morning?
Just this morning, before they left.
Before your wife left?
My sister.
Before your sister left?
Yeah.
Okay, who lives here with you?
Nobody. I don't live here. My sister lives here and my niece lives here.
And you're just visiting?
I was visiting for the night.
Okay, so you're over here visiting your sister and your niece?
Yes.
Okay, and there was a tussle between your sister and her husband?
Yes.
And does the husband live here or no?
No.
Okay.
In Houston.
Okay, is he an ex-husband or just current husband?
They're working on that.
Gotcha. So at some point earlier today, they get into some type of domestic?
Yeah, just this morning, then they left, and then he came at me.
They left meaning who? Both of the parties?
Yeah, my sister took my niece and my nephew.
Okay, so they left.
Create some space for him, and then he came at me.
Okay, but did he leave also?
No.
He stayed here?
He stayed.
So you guys are kind of talking in between or what? Who are you? Who are you?
I'm a neighbor.
No, just go back. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So you were just, it's just you
Nope.
and your...
Yeah, you got those little neighbors that try to jump in. Hey, he kicks them out of there.
brother-in-law.
Yes.
Okay? And kind of go through it.
So-
Say something like, hey, don't touch my sister, or...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he picked up the bat
Where was the bat at?
in the living room.
Okay.
The guy inside me.
No, I haven't got it.
and not right now they're giving out personal information. So they locked it out.
Charles is the husband of the occupants here, but I guess he lives where?
Houston.
You know his date of birth?
No.
From Houston?
Yeah.
Is this vehicle here? How did he get here?
Is it here from Texas?
No, that's my sister's car. I think he came in a rental car. I think his sister's in it.
You think your sister's in the rental car? Okay. So you get in an argument? What is it over?
Well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and then he took the bat away from
Wait a
her.
minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did, but this is before.
Okay, so before your sister and your niece left,
Yeah.
at some point your sister and her husband are arguing,
Yes.
verbal argument, and then your niece pulls out a bat.
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and he took it away.
Okay.
And then I stepped in and told them they needed to separate.
Right.
So then my sister leaves with my niece.
And how long ago did they leave? Been like an hour, 10 minutes?
20 minutes maybe, I don't know.
Okay. So not terribly long.
No.
Oh, okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he's still got the bat in his hand. Like, what are you doing?
And where are you at it? Where are you
We're
both
in the
at?
living room,
Okay.
and then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. So I went to my room and got my gun. I always carry it.
You went to your room, meaning the room you're
I'm
staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
Do you always bring a gun?
I have a concealed carry always,
Okay.
just to be safe.
Hi, who are you?
Oh no.
Okay, just stand over there for just.
See, that's them showing up. That's Lori and
Oh,
I see. Wow.
I thought those were neighbors at first.
and then they walk. Yeah,
Just a second, guys.
And then
and JJ's at the school that they just dropped off.
I told him to put the bat down, and he wouldn't, and he came at me
And
again.
the wife just showed up as well. So you told her to put the.
Okay, there's really nothing else significant there, but let me show you. They actually interview Lori, and you just watch.
Oh,
this
good.
one.
Okay.
It's craziest.
Was it
Yes.
pretty obvious that that fella there was lying? Or
Well, I just he doesn't really say much. He seemed like he had a story. The part that threw the story out for me was that part that I
Right.
pointed out because that wasn't what he was supposed to be saying. He realized, oh, whoa, accusing me of
okay,
what?
do we know if
You know,
were there really like two bats found and everything like that? Because that sounded a little crazy.
there was a bat. There was a bat next to him on the ground, but I mean, if you look at him, he's perfectly laid out on
Yeah.
the ground, and you got this bat. If you listen to the 911 call itself, I don't know if you guys want to hear that, but it doesn't sound like he's really putting any effort into doing the
Yeah.
CPR.
I'm interested in the 911 call.
Yeah. Wait, do you know
Wanna go
if
back?
he was struck in the head with a bat like he says he was?
Well, he there's this little tiny mark, and the officers even said, God, there was just this tiny little cut. And if you get hit in the head with a bat, it creates a huge lump, right? I mean, there wasn't any of that. It was just like a little tiny cut that he kept trying to claim he was hit with.
From behind too,
yeah.
right?
Well, what's interesting? What did you say? I think you cut off for a second.
Oh, he said that he was hit from behind. He turned around and he was hit from behind with the bat.
I didn't remember him saying that he was hit from behind, but he might have said.
Oh, I thought he said that he turned around and then he was hit.
Yeah, he
Sorry.
might have said that. But let me. Here's the 911 call though. All right, here we go. I'll play the whole thing, and then it slides into the video that we just watched.
The emergency.
I shot my brother-in-law
Okay, what part of his body is injured?
in the chest.
I'm sorry, where?
In the chest,
Okay, is he awake and responsive or unconscious?
unconscious.
Okay, is he breathing?
I can't tell.
Okay, are you willing to go over to him and check?
Sure,
Okay, do you just let me know if you see his chest going up and down? How old is he?
it's not moving. He's 60.
Okay, and are you wanting to start CPR?
No, I don't know how to do that.
I can walk you through it.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is you're going to put one hand in the center of his chest.
Yeah.
The other hand's going to go right on top of it.
Okay.
You're going to interlock your fingers, keeping your arms straight, and you're going to press down hard and fast into his chest. You're going to go 2 inches down and fairly quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Making sure his chest goes up between each compression. Where's the gun now?
It's in the other room.
Okay. PD, we're going to stage for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just keep going with those compressions. PD, did you have any other questions?
Yes, what's your name, sir?
My name is Alex. Last name is Cox, C-O-X.
And where are you announced now?
In the living room.
And where is the gun?
It's in a bedroom.
Who else is there in the house with you?
Just me.
What gun is it? Was it
It's my gun. It's a 45.
a pistol? 45 caliber pistol?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name, your brother-in-law?
Charles Vallow.
His last name, I'm sorry?
V-A-L-L-O. Vallow.
V like Victor or G like George?
He sounds so calm. It's ridiculous.
He sounds annoyed a little bit. God.
Thank you.
Are you still doing what, chest compressions with him?
Yes.
Okay, just keep pushing down hard and fast in the center.
Does he have like a headset on or something? How's he doing the chest compressions with the phone? Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago did this
and it's also there's no heavy breathing at all. He doesn't have
maybe 5 minutes before I called.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes before he called. Why would it take 5 minutes?
Well, he had to get his earbuds in and everything so he could do the chest compressions without holding the phone.
Oh yeah. And make sure.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't seem like his hands were really bloody. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't his hands have been bloody if he was really giving him CPR?
Huh. Maybe that's what he was doing in those 5 minutes.
Yeah,
washing his hands.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, he couldn't have because he take from here outside.
Right.
That's a good point.
Michelle is wondering if the autopsy was released or if there's info out there about the entrance and exit wound of the bullet.
There isn't any information yet on the autopsy of Charles. But as we know, I don't know if you guys know, but this guy's dead too.
So,
right.
The guy that we're looking at. Yeah. See, what's interesting when you go back to the...
I was just going to say, Sarah here in the comment chat area said he put the gun away in his room. Is that what he said? He put the gun back after he shot him?
Yeah, well, that's what he says. He went and put the gun back in the room. And you see it on the ground when the officer walks through on the body camera. You can see
and that's in the room?
But yeah, it's in the room that he was staying in. And what's interesting is, why was he staying there that night? He lives 20 minutes away. So he's staying there that night, right? Almost like to make sure that he's there when Charles shows up to pick up his kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. And probably the most, when you look at the stunning odds of something, if you said to yourself, at the house that day was Lori, Alex, Charles, JJ, and Tylee, and the only one known to still be alive is Lori.
God.
The two kids are missing. Charles is dead, and Alex is dead.
So what happened with Tylee and JJ? I want to know if there's any way that they can be found at this point. I know they're still missing, but they've been missing quite a while.
Yeah.
Since September 2019.
Yeah, I mean, they're just completely off the radar. Tylee, Ryan, and JJ were both seen on a photograph taken at Yellowstone National Park at the Old Faithful I actually figured out exactly where this photo was taken. It was at Old Faithful, but it's shooting the other direction. And she hasn't been seen by anybody since that day. Now, JJ had been seen a couple of weeks later in Rexburg, and then he just disappeared as well. But before we get completely off of this footage, you guys want to see Lori's interaction with the police?
I'm sure we're not going to get frustrated at all.
No. Let's see. Let me find that spot. I have its own segment with just her. There it is. Okay. All right, now let me make it bigger so everybody can see it, and boom.
Right here, probably. Yeah.
It's a little bit further down. Just a second.
All right, let me get your information. Does your husband live here or no?
No,
Oh.
this is Houston.
Gotcha. Okay, you guys met.
Separated.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me just get do you have a driver's license with you? I can just grab it.
I put my own wording on the screen.
Thank you. L-O-R-I. What does your middle initial stand for?
Noreen.
Noreen. N-O.
R-E-N.
B-A-L. What's a phone number for you, Lori?
She's so happy to tell her weight and height in a minute.
You live here, though, not in Santan. This is your home?
Right,
Gotcha.
right.
Okay.
We just moved in here.
Gotcha. How long have you guys lived here?
I'm sorry?
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi, neighbor, sorry.
Are you working at all?
No.
Okay. And you're still about 6? 120?
What? Jesus.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, young lady. And let me just get your information. How old are you?
16.
16? Okay. And that's mom? Okay, what's your first name, hon?
They cut out the audio.
Yeah.
How old are you again?
16.
16. Do you have a driver's license?
I do, it's inside.
Nice. So you're a new driver, huh? How do you like that?
Well, almost 17.
Almost up. So you're an old hat then.
Yeah, I drove here from Texas by myself, so I'm pretty used to it by now.
Okay. What's your birthday, hon? And you live here with mom?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how tall you are? What do you think you weigh?
Probably like 5'1" maybe.
Mm-hmm. What do you think you weigh?
160 maybe.
Okay. Red or that's brown for sure. Oh, blonde too. You guys, I'm gonna list you as a blonde young lady here. You got, and then blue eyes.
Yeah.
You have very blue eyes. That's not under debate. Do you have your own phone number?
I do.
Yeah. She doesn't really say anything that's
okay. Hang tight, guys.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm curious about Alex. So Alex is dead 2 months later after this, or a few months later, and how did that happen?
Yeah, well, Alex actually died. Let me get the picture back up. Alex died on December 12th. But see, that's all part of this crazy timeline here. So I'll get back to that part now, and then it'll all start falling together. So in July, so he got killed July. Charles was killed July 11th,
Okay, and that was
2019.
Lori's current husband, who was soon to be ex-husband, apparently. So they said, okay.
Yeah. Right. And then Lori, who had already been communicating with this Chad Daybell guy, the sort of the end of earther prepper cult leader type guy, she had already been communicating with him and then moved to Rexburg on, I think it was August 31st. She moved there and then she enrolled JJ into school there. But then just a few days later, disenrolled him, almost like I'm not sure if that's the word, unenrolled or but anyways, she was, she took him out of school because I think that there was a plan developed in her mind right around that time. Why would you do that? Enroll a kid and then like 4 days later take him out and say you're going to homeschool him. So it was right around September, and then Alex, Lori, Tylee, and JJ all went to the 4 surviving members of that shooting incident, by the way, at that moment. Charles was dead, but those 4 all went to Yellowstone National Park and took a photo there. And let me show you the photo. If you haven't seen it, I'll see if I can find it real quick in here. There it is. It's kind of small up here, but you can see it. This is the photo taken there. And then I found out the location. You can see the little discoloration, the mountain range back there. And believe it or not, Google Earth actually had a, let me show you this. Yeah, there's actually a street view on the boardwalk out there. It's crazy. Like, why would you? I mean, you hardly ever see that, but somebody from Google Earth actually walked the camera out on this little. Yeah, it's not even a road. They walked whatever this is. They walked it on a trail, and it was right here.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, so this is, I think it's either, see this pool here or that pool. So the picture is either taken right here or right at the end, because when you go back to that shot, you see there's that little water there, and then there's the other stream that's back there, and then there's that. And I actually think it might even be that first one, because you can kind of see that steam might be boiling over, but definitely could be the other one too. But they were just standing right here, and Old Faithful is actually over in the other direction. It's right there. But it's crazy that Google Earth actually walked around on this path, making it possible to do.
Also, how fast is your internet? You have incredibly fast internet. I need to chat with you after we're done.
I do have incredibly fast internet. It's like a gigabyte download and 30 upload.
Cool. We'll talk offline about it.
Stuff. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so that was in September. The last known sighting of Tylee was that photograph right there, or at that park. And then JJ was seen at the apartment complex on Ring Doorbell, I think around September 20th, around that time. And then he disappeared. Then on one of the interesting timeline deals here is on October 2nd, 3 things happened that are interesting. There's actually surveillance footage at a storage facility in Rexburg where you see Chad and Lori moving seats and so forth. This is on October 2nd. They're moving seats in and out of the storage unit, and you can see Chad pat Lori on the ass, So obviously there's something more going on at this point. And also on October 2nd, Lori goes on to Amazon and purchases 2 rings for getting married. And if you see the ring right there, that ring is, what is it, malachite? That's some special mineral in the cult that they're in. It gives you power.
Gotcha.
It's crazy. So she bought these, and then let me show you. It's actually in their wedding pictures right there. See that? So that is that. So on October 2nd, she's buying the wedding rings that she eventually uses in the marriage with Chad later on, but that hasn't even happened yet. We're on October 2nd. She buys a ring. She's at the storage facility, and in Arizona, Brandon Boudreaux on that very same day is shot at by a person driving the Jeep that Tylee would normally drive when she was known to exist. She would drive that. But since Charles was the registered owner of it, he died. So now Lori has control of the Jeep because Tylee hasn't been seen since September, right? So on October 2nd, that Jeep is seen on surveillance. It's actually the license number and everything matches the one that Tylee drove. And Brandon said it was Alex driving the Jeep, and he shot at him and just missed him, and the bullet hit the vehicle. I mean, isn't that crazy? And his wife is Melanie, the niece of Lori.
So
okay, so it's crazy.
The guy who was shot at was Lori's niece's husband.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was on October 2nd. Then they ended up getting divorced. Melanie, I mean, see, I think a lot of this stuff has to do with getting life insurance policies.
A lot of marriages, divorces.
And the interesting thing, Charles was a genius though, because in February of last year, he took Lori off the life insurance policy. It was $1 million life insurance policy. And then after he died, they actually had a barbecue, a pool party that night at Lori, that same house that Charles was shot in. They had a big party. Yeah, yeah. That's what they say. The neighbors said, "Oh yeah, they were all having a big party out in the back," and because they probably thought they were going to get a cool $1 million, right? But it didn't happen.
So they didn't know that Lori didn't know that she wasn't on the life insurance at that point.
No, she didn't know. And she got really angry, and it was all given to Kay Vallow right here. Kay is the grandmother of JJ. So the whole JJ scenario is kind of interesting. Is he's not Lori's biological kid at all. One of Kay Woodcock's kids had a child, and it was with another woman, and they were on drugs, and JJ was a result of them, and they couldn't take care of him. So the state asked Kay to take JJ, and they did take care of him, but Charles thought it would be a better match in his family because, he had a Tylee as a sister he would have. And so Charles adopted JJ. So JJ is the biological grandson of Kay. And I guess he would be like a great uncle or something, Charles, but they adopted him. So that's how that works out. So, I mean, that's just an aside, but it just shows you how complex this whole damn thing is. It's crazy. Let's see. Then Melanie. So after Brandon was shot, they got divorced. There's an incident also that's on a 911 call where Melanie and Alex actually drove to Brandon's parents' house to get the kids back because he had custody of the kids because of I don't really remember if it was because of that incident or not, but she actually ended up getting arrested and then had to go to court appearances. But she got divorced, and then she moved to Rexburg, Idaho in November, and then met this guy named Ian Pulowski, and they got married on November 30th. But check it out, Alex up here, he married a woman named Zulima Pastines on the day before, November 29th. They get married. Then the very next day, Melanie gets married to Ian. It's almost like you're putting together this little cult, like up in Idaho.
No, it feels a lot like they're trying to get all the gears to start working, right?
Yeah, it's really crazy. Now there's really an important part here of the story is Tammy Daybell right here. They were married for 20-something years, Chad and Tammy here. Okay, and this is the guy that Lori's been communicating with the big-time podcaster, end-of-earther, just wackadoodle. Okay, these two people here, they were communicating, but he was married. And Chad here, and there's this lady out there named Julie Rowe. They had been having visions of Tammy dying. I think she's going to die in a car accident. Oh, maybe it's going to be. But they kept visioning it. Then the visions would go away, and they'd say, "Oh, the angels behind the veil have given her more time." And now they see her dying again. And then boom, look at this crazy message she put on Facebook on October 9th. Okay, it said, something really weird happened, and I want you to know so you can watch out. I had gotten home and parked in our front driveway. As I was getting stuff out of the back seat, a guy wearing a ski mask was suddenly standing by the back of my car with a paintball gun. He shot at me several times, although I don't think it was loaded. I yelled for Chad, and he ran off around the back of my house. I have no idea what his motive was, and he never spoke, even after I asked him several times what he thought he was doing. I was about to smack him with my freezer meals from enrichment tonight when I decided to yell for Chad instead. Okay, now I think that was an actual, because it was a silencer used to shoot at Brandon Boudreaux and Alex. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was actually a silencer. Chad knew about it and said, oh yeah, that was just a paintball gun, because he missed again. You know, I bet you he missed again. Alex did. I think Alex, it's hard to say who the shooter was, but let's just say I think the shooter was trying to kill her and missed. And what's amazing is 10 days later, she does die in the middle of the night.
How?
Yeah.
You know, and she was in great shape. And amazingly, they didn't even do an autopsy at the time. Chad goes, yeah, you know, because it looked like a natural cause. They just sort of let it go. And so they have exhumed her body, though, and we're still waiting to get the results of that. But interestingly, the day after her body was exhumed is the day that Alex died in his house with foam coming out of his mouth.
This is messed up. Wait, so how did Alex die?
Yeah, well, an autopsy did just come out, and they made it sound like he had narrowing of his heart arteries and so
Tammy
forth.
was only 49. Is that right?
Go ahead. Yeah, she's young, and she was practicing for like a partial marathon.
She was practicing for a partial marathon. She was only 49 years old, and then she just dies of natural causes, and no one's like, this is extremely odd.
Yeah. No. But it became really odd when all these pieces were put together, like we're doing right here, and so they exhumed her body at that point.
Jesus.
Yeah, so we don't even have those results aren't out yet from that, but it's just absolutely. I think there's just what are the odds that it's not intentional at this point?
Yeah, everything's unintentional or accidental or just is what they say it was. I don't know. Pretty slim chances, I'd say.
Yeah, all the X's I have, the red ones are people that have died, and the yellow ones are people that should be dead or are unaccounted for. Like Brandon was shot at, it just missed his head. He was supposed to be dead.
Any idea about Tylee and JJ, where they could be?
No,
but you said that there was a sighting of JJ that was a couple of after or a week or so after. Who turned that sighting in? Who saw him?
Oh, no, it was just a Ring doorbell camera in the apartment complex. Yeah, he's running around, and you can actually see him. He's running and playing. Probably the most disturbing part of this story is that Lori had said that, oh, by the way, Lori claimed that Tammy Daybell was a zombie. Now, it's important to know what this stuff means. It really is. It's a huge part of the story. Lori believed that Tylee and JJ were zombies. Okay. And I actually have a document, believe it or not, on this that I put together from screenshots. Let me pull that one up.
You said zombie, right? I didn't mishear you.
No, that's really what I said. It's crazy. Yeah. See, they actually believe, and here's that part in the document that says healing malachite solution balm. Okay. This is a document that Brandon had, and it was from information that Ian Pulowski, the husband of Melanie, the niece of Lori, gave, because he actually was wearing a wire for the FBI or for the police because he was having concerns. But I think eventually he just realized, wow, my wife's pretty hot. I'm going to just go with it. But he did do this at the beginning. All right, let's get back. Let me scroll up here, though, so you can see this craziness here. All right, so Lori believes she was a translated being and cannot die, cannot reproduce, because now she doesn't want any more kids anyway. So you have to explain, now I'm a translated being because I'm not going to have any more kids, and do not need sleep or food, and do not feel the sorrow of the world. And that's why she can explain her giggling at the crime scene. She has no sorrow for the world, right? She's just laughing there. Injury is possible, but healing is accelerated, and it's never fatal. Somebody should just test that out.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would.
Dr. Shiloh in the chat room says, sounds like meth.
I think she's just really a crazy, one of those people that believes in the cult, They also believe there are 50 dark translated humans that are that high level. And they're dark, though. And she names two of the detectives that are looking into them, of course. Hey, everybody, if you're part of my cult, let's put these two people on the hit list. And those dark forces work under the direction of Satan, Lucifer. And here's the zombie part, though. This part's nuts. Watch this. Human bodies that have their original spirits forced from them have been possessed by either a demon, original third of the heavenly host who followed Lucifer, disembodied spirit, once living human spirit who have chosen not to be reborn to another probation, or a worm slug, a creature controlled by Lucifer that enters the body to control the host. And I think that's what she thinks, that JJ and Tylee are worm slugs. And it says down here, the only way it works, I'll just describe it in the layman's terms, is that a evil spirit can take over a human host if there's trauma in that person's life. So if something bad happens, your spirit's weak, the evil spirit can come in, take you out, and your spirit is put in limbo. So it's just floating in limbo. So JJ and Tylee's spirits are floating in limbo. That's what she believes. And that their actual hosts were taken over by evil spirits. The only way, and it'll be there forever until the vessel, the body, is destroyed. So by killing the actual body, it frees the souls from limbo.
That is,
and they can go to heaven or wherever.
Crazy.
I'm
not just saying this because Dr. Shiloh's in the chat room here. That's almost the plot of season 3 of Twin Peaks.
But that doesn't give us much hope for
no, it doesn't.
Kids. Yeah.
No, because see, just think about it like this. In Lori's mind,
right,
she's doing something great. She's freed these kids, but she doesn't really think that, but that's what her story would be. And because everybody's a zombie, they become a zombie if they cross her. It's weird. Like everybody's a zombie. As soon as you do something, oh, you're a zombie. Okay. And then it gives her the right to take you out because you're actually doing something great. Because I'm freeing the nice person that you were.
Well, if she actually thought this and she did
just
something to the children, why wouldn't she put that on display and say, look what I've done. I freed them.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's true. And another thing too, and that's why. See, every time she'll say something like, "Oh, they're doing great. They're doing great. I just can't tell you where they're at." Well, you're right, because you don't want to prove that they're still alive because they're probably not alive, but you think they're doing great because you freed their souls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's.
Oh my God.
She's mostly playing out in Idaho at this point.
Yeah, well, right now, Melanie and Ian live in Arizona. It's weird how that sort of flip-flopped because Ian's from Idaho, but they're in Arizona. And, then we all know that Lori and Chad right around late November when the police went to investigate them, moved all the way to Hawaii. And they finally Lori was arrested and moved back to Rexburg. And she's, the judges even said, just prove that they're alive and you don't even need bail at this point, right? Because that's so easy to do, right? Hold up a newspaper article with COVID on it or something, and they're alive, and you could prove it, but they're not doing that.
It's tragic.
Seriously, I mean, what a terrible world to be born into for those kids.
And what was she charged with?
Yeah. I think it's something like abandonment of parental responsibilities and other, but she got a huge, I think it's more now. I can't remember if they've charged her with more now. But they give her, it was like a $5 million bond for something that, so they did lower it to $1 million, but they weren't able to secure that. Chad did get over $400,000 from the life insurance policy from Tammy's death, and they burned through a lot of that in Hawaii.
Do you think anyone in law enforcement has a chart that's similar to yours, going through all of the connections and how this person died and this person came close to death? Do you think that there's something going on behind the scenes like that? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there might even be more in depth with different other people's names on there. There's even a friend that's named also Melanie, who a friend of Lori named Melanie that was asked to lie because when the police went there to ask where JJ is, they said that JJ was staying with a woman named Melanie in Arizona. Okay, but then Melanie actually in Arizona came forward and said, yeah, they wanted me to lie, but I'm not going to do it. So that was going to be a lie. So, where is JJ, right? I mean,
yeah. So, tell us about Alex. What happened? So it says in your chart, he died December 12th, 2019. He's the guy from the beginning who killed Lori's current husband, Charles Vallow, and he says it was in self-defense, but he's dead about 6 months later. He choked in his sleep. What happened to him?
Well, they said that he died of blood clots in his arteries. It's sort of narrowing. That's what the official autopsy. See, everybody's like, "Oh, see, it was natural," but I'm not sure because that's the original autopsy, right? That's before they were thinking that, oh wow, there might be something crazy here. They might have gone back in again and tested the blood to see if there was any other, acetylcholine,
right?
You always see it on forensic files. But you guys want to hear the 911 call of when? Well, here's something crazy. So Zulema and and Alex got married, and there's a son involved, but the son doesn't even know who the hell this guy is when he's on the call, right? Like Zulema has a child, and the child just knows the guy's name is Alex, like a friend of his mom, but they're married, right? So anyways, listen to this.
Hi, I need an ambulance to...
It's playing.
Yes.
Why do you need an ambulance?
I have a older male, a middle-aged male.
He is breathing?
Yes, he's breathing, but very, very highly breathing.
Okay, let me transfer you the medics. Do not hang up. Is it due to a
Fire and medical? What is the address of your emergency?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, what is the emergency?
I have a older male here named Alex. He just passed out here on my bathroom.
Okay, is he awake right now?
I think he's passed out.
Okay, you think he's unconscious?
Yes.
Okay. Is he breathing normally, like you can see his chest rising and falling?
I hope so.
I have the paramedics on the way, but I need you to try to help me with some information while they're driving there to help him. Okay?
Okay.
How old is he?
He seems to be in his 40s.
Okay. Do you know him?
No, it's my mother's boyfriend.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay. I have the paramedics on the way, so he's in the restroom right now.
Okay.
Gilbert, can we get you started?
I'm already en route.
All right, thank you. Okay. Is he on his back or on his stomach? Where is he at?
He's on his side.
Okay. Can you lay him flat on his back on the ground?
I'll try. It's just there's feces there, and I'm trying to just keep cool right now.
You said he's what?
There's feces on the ground.
Okay. I know that's gross, but if we can just go ahead and get him flat on his back, I want to make sure he's breathing, because if he's not, we're going to do a few things.
Did you say he's cool, like cold?
Alex.
No, like he's cool. Like he's a cool dude. I mean, what kind of a dumb...
Alex, we got to get you on your back.
Does he seem more awake or more asleep?
He's more passed out.
Okay. Is he opening his eyes or moving at all?
He's breathing.
Okay. Is he breathing normally, like his chest is rising and falling? He's not making any weird sounds?
Yeah, he's making a very exhale sound like...
Okay. If he's doing that, we need to start CPR, so I need you to get him flat on his back on the ground.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I could do that, man.
I know this is difficult, but you're only helping him, okay? I know, the paramedics... What is your name?
Anxiety and depression.
Okay, what's your name?
Anxiety and depression, I can't.
What is your name?
My name's Joseph.
Joseph? Okay, Joseph. The best thing for us to do for him right now is to...
Wow. So that's Zulema's son. He's 25. Where is Zulema, Alex's wife? Oh, okay. So she just wasn't home when her
she
husband
shows up here in a
of
second,
a couple of weeks was passed out in the bathroom? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she comes in and
does she have any connection to Lori or the cult or Chad or whatever?
Yeah, she's similar. Yeah, they seem to be. She seems to be the same type. You know, that really she believes in that mystical, and like Melanie here knows her really well, and I'm just sure it's all part of the same thing. I mean, that's the thing, is it's hard to know what the cult is. You know, is there a cult where it's an official cult, you know, like, or was it just starting to form
and marrying people and killing them?
That's
so far.
Or, sounds like a pretty bad game plan for a cult. Sounds.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to listen to the rest of it or not. It's just,
well, it might be interesting to hear what concern sounds like compared to the other participants that we've heard.
Okay, here we go.
I know it's not ideal, but you're doing a really good job by helping him if you can do that, okay?
Oh. You're Alex.
I mean, one thing I would say is, don't you think it would suck to be this kid, maybe having to do CPR on some guy that you just don't even really know, and he's really, you know, so his behavior is totally normal to me, even though it's calm.
Yeah, he almost cracks though when he's saying he's got anxiety and depression. If she didn't keep asking him his name and kind of recenter him, it sounded like he was about to pop.
Yeah, it did.
He's not breathing. No, he's too big.
Okay, just try to get him on his back so we can do chest compression.
My mother just got here.
Okay, give her the phone then.
That's a dog.
So, did she say the mother just got there?
Yeah.
Come here.
And we're coming on Mineral right now. We're almost there.
It's really bad. Come upstairs in the bathroom. We need to get him on his back.
Can you put your mom on the phone?
She's right here. You're on speaker.
Okay, ma'am, the paramedics are pulling up, but in the meantime, we need him to get flat on his back, and we need to give him chest compressions, okay?
Chest compressions. Wait. But
does she know how to do CPR?
Yes. She knows how.
Okay.
How far are you?
We're pulling up out front right now, so they're grabbing their equipment and they're coming in. Are you on the first floor or the second?
We're on the second floor.
Second floor in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, and the door is unlocked?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do you see the paramedics now?
Yes.
Okay, Joseph, you did a good job. I know that was really scary, but thank you for your help, okay?
Joseph, before you hang up, I need your last name. Joseph, let the paramedics do their business and tell me what your last name is.
Lopez.
Joseph, what's your last name?
Lopez.
Okay. And what's your date of birth, Joseph?
That's what
about
someone who's doing CPR sounds like.
Right. Like she was actually literally.
Yeah, and he even tells her that she's on speakerphone, so she doesn't need to even grab the phone. She just needs to do this.
Yeah, just that everything about that seemed normal. So I kind of, for a while, I wasn't sure if Zulema may have been part of something, but that to me that sort of.
What was the official cause of death in that case? Oh, blood clots. Okay.
Yeah, that was there one where they said?
I feel like I've heard this before. I'll have to do a little research, but I feel like there's some medications or stuff like that could potentially cause that. I don't know. Just curious.
Arsenic poisoning.
Is that what that does? It causes blood clots.
It destroys red blood cells.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a direct correlation, but
yeah, I don't know.
And he'd been complaining for the previous week that he had a burning sensation, in his chest. So, maybe there's something out there.
I think zinc also does that too.
Those symptoms.
Yeah, they'll have to. I'm sure they're looking into that. I would have to imagine.
I would hope so. Considering 2 podcasters just came up, I would hope that the law enforcement has a team on this.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty fascinating stuff, Gray. Thanks a lot for sharing all your work and sharing about that case, trying to make sense of this insane case.
Yeah, and there's some, they don't know if Joseph Ryan, if he died, the third husband, if his death was something that was caused either. And it's amazing how many, he was cremated, and so was Charles, right? So you've got not even bodies anymore to exhume and check. So yeah, this is a crazy case. I know I left out
details,
little details out there. You guys can. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is there's all these just 1,000
go
details.
for it.
If you go to that one website, can I mention that one? The Analytics. That's actually the sister of Joseph Ryan. Has a great timeline. It's ANNIELY. What is it? LYTICS.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there.
Analytics. And then there's a lot of people have been. There's 2 people out there, Nate Eaton on East Idaho News and Justin Lum of Fox 10 Phoenix. They're both in Fox 10. Justin Lum is in Arizona, and Nate Eaton is in Idaho, and they're both just digging and always coming with documents.
Lori is currently incarcerated, and her bail is set at $1 million now.
Yeah, it's $1 million. It was 5. They reduced it to $1 million. And I think even in the last hearing, they said, just tell us where they are, and
desertion.
You won't even have any.
Right. Desertion and non-support of dependent children, says Michelle. Those were the official felony charges. tragic case. I mean, yeah, we talked about so many deaths just in this episode, and those poor missing children. Gosh, I have no idea where this case is going.
Yeah, the one of the interesting things too is JJ had a service dog, and he was also on this medicine for he's autistic, and he had this medicine that would calm him down, and that medicine hadn't been used since purchased for months. I mean, almost a year, or maybe like 9 months or something. So it hadn't been purchased. So he was a little bit way more hyper. And maybe that was how Lori was able to sell people, oh my God, it's a zombie now, right? Where the medication actually helped him and he would be more calm. And then as soon as you take away the medicine, he acts out. And now Lori can sell to the little cult following that, see, he's a zombie. He's not the same. You know, it's just disgusting. And she tried to sell the service dog. And then the people who, actually train these dogs found out about it and were like, you can't do that. I mean, it's just crazy. She got rid of the service dog and his medicine.
What a maniac.
Yeah.
What a nightmare.
I know.
That was
seems to be a few kind of sort of certain kind of together in this case, at least with Chad and Lori.
Well, they just seem like there's just a lot of really dumb people right there. I mean, to believe the stuff. There's this whole other thing I didn't get into with Chad, and he can see light and dark just looking at you. And he did this whole family tree chart rating people on, okay, Alex, he's a 2.1 light, so-and-so. And it was so political. It was amazing. It was all the people that have said anything negative have a little bit of darkness on them. It's unbelievable.
I
want
to make so many jokes about it, but it's just too tragic.
I know. Well, great. Thank you very much for joining us here today on this live Get Vocal show on Crawl Space. We really appreciate it. And we will be back doing more of these. And great. We'd love to have you back sometime. That was really interesting, taking us through some of your work that you've assembled in this case. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was my honor. You guys are big time out there, and I really appreciate giving me a chance.
You're the one that makes the
talk about this case.
Incredible charts, not us. So we got nothing on you.
Yeah, I'd argue you're big time. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining us here. We appreciate it.
Go have a drink behind you there at Mario's.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
See ya.